Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Nice little foggy day outside today. I'm out here just taking a little stroll, looking at my property. So today I was thinking about something people talk about called intention. Your mind is a very powerful thing. And when you set intentions, right, you do a lot of work on the inside that you're unaware of. So, for example, many times when people, go about their day and they have something important to make a decision on, they say, let me sleep on it and I'll come back with an answer in the morning. Kind of a funny thing to say. It's like, why you can't do anything while you're sleeping, right? But actually, you can. Your mind is always in the background trying to come up with, solutions to your survival and being able to figure out what it is that you need in order to continue on, reproduce, etc. So when you set intentions, right, you're telling your subconscious mind what it is that you want. Because between you and your subconscious, or your higher mind and lower mind, you kind of make a deal and work together towards what you both think is the best to, live. Some people say that actually your higher mind is actually getting tricked all the time by your subconscious into thinking it's in charge or something, right? But when you take and you have cohesion and both are in agreement, powerful things can happen, right? That being said, when you are fully congruent, when you know what you want, you understand it, you know the risk, you know the rewards, and you know the details of what it is that you're interested in, and then you make it known to yourself. Many times people say that you do this by saying it out loud, or that you do it by actually writing it down somehow. And that then you're able to actually start performing in such a way that you are able to, well, do the things that make it happen. And it can be very quick when you're actually all in the correct gear. But, most of the time we have many different things in the background that we are trying to do at the same time, or we have goals internally that are opposed to one another that end up, actually being counterproductive. So if you can get your intentions correct, you become aligned, both mind, body, and soul. Man, it's like the world moves and steps aside for those people. That being said, a lot of people talk about this thing called manifestation. You may have, read the book The Secret, or read Napoleon Hill's book Think and Grow Rich. Books like this, they talk about, just believe it and see it and you'll have it, or something like that. I forget the exact quote, but he says like something like that. Think it and believe it and you will receive it. Is that it? Tell me in the comments what he said. But anyway, that all being said, it's a little oversimplified, and it's not magic in the sense that just because you believe that you are going to get something, that you will. It's more like you have this supercomputer in your head, and when you give it consistent information, it will give you the calculus on how to actually get it, or whatever it is that you want. That's really more of the way I understand it works. So, you do a yoga practice, right? Before you begin the session, most every time, the instructor or the yogi, they will say a little word of the day, or they will say, this is the intention for our practice today, right? And the reason is they're trying to set the tone and the goal so that everyone works in alignment, and the little micro actions you take during, you perform them towards that goal that they see fit for the class that day. It works. I've seen it. It does seem to do something. And, if you can learn how to get correct intentions in your life, things will become much better because many people, they are fighting themselves internally. They say that I want this one thing X, and in reality, they really want more of this other thing Y. Like, for example, someone says the most common thing, something like, I want to be rich, right? And it's something that they've come up with, over time, that it's what they want. But from childhood, let's say that they were somebody who had a rough upbringing and life was chaotic. And one, they probably want to be rich because, whatever. But at the same time, their stronger, deeper desire is really security, that they want to feel safe. And, they may translate and think to themselves that, oh, well, that means being rich, right? Here's the thing. When you become more wealthy or whatever, you actually begin to learn it's comes with its own risk, and it becomes dangerous. For one, it's very stressful trying to become rich. You can work very hard and do a lot of things that require you to do what you may not want to do, and it feels uncomfortable. And number two, most people in human history, if you were ever someone who became rich, you were at extreme risk of being killed. And the reason for that is simple. Most time, 1,000 years ago, if you had a big pile of gold and you were walking around, there's no cameras, there's no policemen everywhere. Someone would probably come up to you and hit you over the back of the head and steal that gold instantly and then run off with it. It was highly likely. So becoming rich in and of itself is kind of programmed in our DNA to be something a little resistant to because of the danger that it presents. I mean, look at the really rich people, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all these guys. They have whole small armies that guard them daily. Um, Being wealthy and successful becomes dangerous. So if you end up wanting to achieve something, a goal or whatever, you may have internal conflict on this, and you have to become clear on your fear against whatever it is of accomplishing whatever goal, and you also have to um, clearly understand what the benefits look like. And then when you do all of these things, the next step is obviously going to be not just to sit around and wait. What's really going to happen is you begin to take the action. Um, faith without works is dead. And so once these things become happening, you really have to understand why this is powerful, is because your mind is one of the most complex things in the universe. It's extremely capable of computing things, and it will put the answers right in front of you. And you will end up, almost kind of gliding through life because you're not fighting yourself. It's a good book, Release Your Brakes by Jim Newman. He talked about this. And so, that all being said, you need to have intentions in life. You need to write down what you want out of life, and you need to examine those very closely. Read that book by Jim Newman, by the way, The Release Your Brakes. It has a whole bunch of exercises you can do. It's very helpful. But anyway, that's the video for today. Thank you guys. Kind of a short one, but like, subscribe. Have a good day. All right, bye.